Hi, everybody. Welcome back to episode 6 of Socially Unfiltered. So happy to be back, finally, because it was like, a month ago that we recorded the last one? Because we batched a bunch, and
yes.
I'm very happy to be back.
It's felt like we have been talking because we've been editing and like posting them. So just hearing each other talk all the time, I'm like, oh, it's like we're recording. It's like we're talking to each other again, but we haven't.
Like, it's not like we haven't talked in a month, but we haven't recorded in almost a month. Like, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to catch up on, because we were just kind of talking about this before we started, but we had originally planned for this entire episode to be like a whole deep dive into the new Black Mirror season, but so much has happened that we're still going to talk about that, but it's probably not going to be the main focus, and we'll save it until the end, because I feel like we have other important things that we need to talk about first.
Yes. 100%.
So really quick, make sure you're following us, and I hate saying that, make sure you're keeping up with us on Instagram at Socially Unfiltered Pod. We are both logged into there. We're on there all the time. We will absolutely respond to you on there. And then one last thing is just make sure you leave us a review if you love this. It just helps us so much. I know I'm always like, I'll say this all at the end, and then I didn't. So
I know we always forget to say it.
So just knock that out really quick. So anyway, hi, we're back.
Hello.
I know we had a week off as soon as we started.
We did. Now we're in real time, and it's like exciting because we can actually talk about things that are
happening live. What threw this episode off a little bit was what we had planned 4 weeks ago is still relevant, but a lot has happened since then. So I know I want to say this first. I'm sure you do too. We just want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this. It was a long time in the making. Not as long as other stuff that I've done, though. Like, this was I was like, we got to do this. Like, all my other stuff, I'm like, I'll think about it. We got to wait a little while, like, see how it goes. With this, we were like, we got to go.
I know. I wish we captured everything, because we worked on this for like every single day. I think we were doing something for it, and meeting and calls and figuring out how we're going to record and set up and episodes and planning. Like, it's a lot to start a podcast. And it's so funny. I think people don't realize it. They're like, oh, you just record and you upload it, and like the editing and the content creation part of it. And we were just texting each other today, though, and we're like, this was like so smart of us to do, because so much easier as two people. Like, I didn't even have an Instagram page for my podcast, and you said you were like, I literally uploaded one thing, I think, on my Instagram
literally
podcast.
only made my podcast on Instagram so that nobody else would take the handle. Like, I never posted on it. I just had it there. But yeah, I mean, like, not even easier, but just like splitting that workload with somebody is like, it's opened so many more avenues and opportunities for us to like make sure reels are getting posted, and we're actively on there. Because I mean, for me, before, I was doing everything through my main Instagram, and it was just a lot. Never had a single post go up about an episode, like, ever.
Just to show, though, for the work that we've been putting in and how excited we are about it, like everyone else is too. I mean, I think we got, in the first week, we had 120 plays for these episodes that you guys listen to, which is amazing. And it's never about the number. Like, we posted a story about this, how we gained like 102 followers in a week and 120 plays, and it's not about that, but it is so cool when you actually like put in the work and you're excited about something, that comes back to you. And it goes to show, like, as long as you're excited about something and you're putting in that effort and engaging with your community, which we have been doing like every single day on our stories and comments and everything, and it's just so cool to see how much we've grown in just a week.
When I posted that story, I was like, we would do this for one person. We would do this for 1,000 people. Like, we would do this if it was just for us to go back and listen to.
We're just going to talk about it anyway. So,
but it's just really cool to see, you know, there's always people who are like, oh my God, that's so cool that you're doing that. And then when the time comes, they don't listen to it, or they don't, you know, follow your new account or anything. And again, it's never about those numbers, but to see people who are just as excited as we are, like, it just makes it so much more fun for us. So thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody's kind words. Thank you for not letting our unfilteredness scare you away.
But I've gotten so many DMs, and they're like, oh my God, I've been thinking the same thing, or I've felt this way and I needed some clarity on it, or just like questions that we answered and it could be a help to people. Just feels really good.
The one question box that we put up that was like, tell us your hot takes about the industry. So many
Yeah.
people said the same thing that we did in that episode. It's just crazy to see how many people are noticing this, but also I'm so glad there are more people noticing that. So wait, I have stuff that I need to tell you because I officially listened to all of the episodes over the last few days. Yeah, because like obviously we listen when we're editing them, but like I'm just in such a different zone when I'm listening to a podcast because like I'm cleaning, I'm driving, I'm working, doing other stuff. So when I'm like, okay, let me play this one. One of the first things I need to say, I don't know if you remember this, but when we were talking about two different things with the marketing campaign episode. So the first one was, I don't know if you remember me saying about the airport that did the lost stuffed animals. Okay, so it's the Mitchell Airport in Milwaukee, and the TikTok handle is literally Mitchell Airport, like Mitchell. And they still do it now. Like they still post these
on
videos.
TikTok?
Yes, they still post these lost stuffed animals and like the days that they're having. They are so cute. I can't get over it.
Oh my God, they
you
are
see
still
it?
doing it. Yes.
It's so funny. It's so cute. And like it's just, I mean, I don't know the exact number, but I know that they have reconnected
Who goes
a lot
around
of people.
and
I know.
finds these
right?
stuffed animals?
I know.
Is there like a drop-off station where like now everyone knows like if you lost a toy, just bring it to the like the desk?
Well, because if you watch, it's like, because I just looked at it this morning because I was like, no, I'm gonna find out which airport this was. Like, I need to know. And
they have a lost and found.
One of their last videos, they say like, oh, there's so many buddies hanging out in our lost and founds, and like then you can see their little days. But they're so cute. Yeah, you need to like binge them at some point. And for anybody else, like go look at it. It's actually the cutest thing. And I don't even think they started it as meant to be a marketing campaign. I genuinely think somebody just found a stuffed animal and was like, I'm gonna make a cute little video so that this kid knows like their stuffed animal was taken care of while he was lost.
These are so cute. Oh my God. Everyone needs to go watch them. They're like, do they have a social media manager for this?
I don't know. And I've always wondered that. I'm like, who's doing this? Like, is it just like a flight attendant that came across one day?
Because their Instagram is like completely not that. Like their Instagram is just sale. Hurry up and book your vacation travel for next winter. Like it's so different. Yeah, it's not. There's not a single toy on here.
Another one from the marketing campaign one. Do you remember saying, I can't believe McDonald's hasn't done a crazy campaign?
No, okay. So I know that they have done, but I said I can't believe we didn't come across one and talk about one because I feel like they've done probably plenty of crazy ones.
But that same week, the Grimace Shake thing started. Have you seen the Grimace Shake on TikTok? Where people are buying the how are you not on the Grimace side of TikTok?
Because I'm on conspiracy talk right now in airplane. I'm on shapeshifter TikTok.
I mean, same. And I was gonna ask you about
and Logan Paul getting engaged.
I know. Literally, Veronica and I both cried this morning over
you guys
Logan Paul
sobbing.
getting engaged.
I don't like ever keep up with him. Or
I don't even like
life.
them.
Like, I don't even like him. Right. I never. No, they were like not good people. I think they still are not. Okay,
no, I'm pretty sure they're canceled.
I don't know.
But
yeah. And here I am sobbing.
Didn't you say in our text, you were like, I can't believe I'm crying in 2023 over Logan Paul?
This was like not on my bingo card that I'd be sobbing over Logan Paul.
It was so cute though. And like the thought and the effort that went into it. I literally go, Ethan, I just cried over Logan Paul's engagement video. And he goes, I don't really like him. And I was like, I don't either. But like this video is like, really
that's not the
cute.
Point. Yeah. Take notes.
And Veronica and I are like, we'll get like an iPhone selfie video maybe if we're lucky. Okay, I had one other thing that I needed to tell you because we talked about it and didn't like really go into it, and I've been thinking about it. So the episode about AI, when we talk about how many songs are written by different artists, I went through and made a list because I was like, no, I think about this too much.
Are you sure we got enough time for this list?
Yes, it's real quick. I'm about to rattle these off to you. Taylor Swift wrote all of the songs that I'm about to say. Better Man by Little Big Town, You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home by Miley Cyrus, This Is What You Came For by Calvin Harris and Rihanna. So Taylor Swift wrote all three of those songs and like a shit ton others. Like Taylor Swift has written songs for everybody. It was wild. Sia wrote Pretty Hurts by Beyonce. She wrote Diamonds by Rihanna. She wrote Let Me Love You by Neo.
Sia?
I loved Sia, but apparently there's like some shit going on with her like grooming Maddie Ziegler and stuff. Like it was weird how obsessed she was with Maddie. So that kind of like broke my heart a little bit because I also loved Dance Moms. So Kesha wrote Till the World Ends by Britney Spears, and she said that she wrote that song.
That's what it was.
Yeah. I was like, no, this
Yes.
is why it bothered me so much when I was listening to that episode, because I was like, no, I know that there are
remember
like
hearing that.
very relevant ones. Neo wrote Irreplaceable by Beyonce. Like, you're irreplaceable.
Yeah.
To the left, to the left. Isn't that so weird? Jessie J wrote Party in the USA for Miley Cyrus.
Yes, that was the one I've heard about too and couldn't remember who wrote that. Yes.
And Jessie
okay.
J said that the royalties from that song paid her rent for 3 years, which, like, slay. Love that for you.
Pop off, Jessie J. She's pregnant right now. She's so cute.
I saw, did you see that video of her performing and there's a pregnant woman in the front and she's like, get her a banana.
Yeah. Are you pregnant too?
Yeah.
Come on.
She's like, do you want to sit down? It's so cute. And that's like didn't we talk about that one day? How like not just British people, but like it's so weird sometimes to hear people sing like and they just sound like a full blown
Yeah.
American accent, but then you hear them talk and they're like straight up British.
It's like us. We can do a British accent.
It's always so weird to think
You know.
about it though, the other way around. Hold on, I have 2 more because they're like so important. Little
oh
Things
my God, yeah.
by One Direction.
yeah.
Okay, Ed Sheeran wrote that.
Oh, I could see that for sure.
And then Avril Lavigne wrote Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson.
What?
And it's funny because when I was like looking these up, Kelly Clarkson said that that song was like not her vibe at all. And like if you listen to the rest of the songs on that album, it really doesn't fit with it at all. But everybody was so adamant, like, oh, Avril Lavigne wrote this song for you. Like, you have to sing it. And then it ended up being,
Oh yeah, the biggest.
yeah. And then the last one is, Forget You by CeeLo Green. Like, it's technically called
Yeah.
Fuck You, I think.
Yes.
That was written by Bruno Mars.
Aw,
Isn't that interesting?
interesting.
That was the end of my list.
Well, you know what I love too is the recently Miley Cyrus doing that song. I can buy myself flowers. Is it flowers?
I think it's just called Flowers, right?
That- Right?
I don't know. I just know the song. I think it is. It has to be.
Right. I think it's flowers. Yes, flowers. That was like a response to Bruno Mars's song.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Because that was like their song together.
Bought you flowers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she had to get his permission.
I think I posted that on my story when the song first came out. I'm like, isn't it just so funny to think about like Miley Cyrus calling up Bruno Mars and Bruno being like, you go, girl. Like, you tell
Yeah,
him
pop
you
off.
use that song.
Uh-huh.
And there were a lot of other like Easter eggs in that music video. Like the suit that she's wearing is the suit that he
Jennifer
was wearing.
Lawrence.
The house
dress.
is the house that he like cheated on her with. Wait, what dress?
Did you see how during Hunger Games he was like supposedly cheating with Jennifer Lawrence and like they gave it away in an interview that like they've kissed off screen, and that gold dress that she wore was that same dress that Miley wore in the music video.
No, I did not notice that or know that.
Oh my god.
And I thought I knew all
Okay,
the
you
Easter eggs there.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, we need to I'll show you the TikTok after cuz it's unbelievable.
That's wild. No, I knew for sure the house and the suit and something about obviously flowers, but like wasn't it something with the roses? Like wasn't it red roses for a reason or something? I don't really know. Fake news, sorry.
Yeah. Allegedly. If we just say allegedly, like no one
I
can
know,
come
we
after
can't get in
us.
trouble for speaking of allegedly.
Yeah.
See, this is why we need to like be I'm so happy to be back in live time. So, did you see that supposedly the transcript was leaked of the last communication with the Titan submersive and the boat
No, I did not
like
see that.
docked
I've
it?
been like off that TikTok.
So
for a
I really
while.
have too, and I'm kind of glad because it was like a lot for a second. But supposedly, and this is again allegedly, like there's really no way to know if somebody just decided to type this up and publish
Yeah.
it. From what I gathered from what I saw, they knew what was happening for like 20 minutes. So like they saw, and like the boat that was tracking the submarine going under like thought that it was just descending, but really it was sinking, and like that should have set off an alarm like to them, not like physically an alarm. But yeah, apparently like they knew that it was sinking, they knew something was happening for like 20 minutes, and they were like communicating back with the boat being like, what do we do? But again, allegedly, I don't know if those transcripts are real, but that just came up today and I haven't been on the submarine TikTok in a while. So
Yeah, never mind everybody saying it was just a distraction.
Did you see all the stuff about the movie, The Sound of Freedom?
Yeah, I literally just saw this right before we got on this podcast. Dude, we are like on the same, are we logged into the same account? It's the creepiest thing. Literally today I sent Lex like 3 videos. She's like, oh my God, just saw those today. Then she sends me one and I go, I literally just watched about this all morning. Same freaking brain.
I always feel so bad when somebody sends me a video that I've seen. Like, I debate. I'm like, do I pretend that I haven't seen this and just give a reaction? Or do I, like, sound like a bitch and be like, oh, I've seen this? But the ones that you sent, I had to be like, no, I've seen these, because it was so funny that so many this morning, we were like, sending each other.
I think every single one. We were like, yep, saw that. And then I'm like, but did you see this one too? And you're like, yes.
Sorry. I spend too
No, but
much
I love
time
that.
on
I
there.
love that you've already seen it, because I'm like, okay, same mind.
Or honestly, like, sometimes I'll forget that I've seen it, and when I open it, I've already liked the video, and I'm like, oh man, like, I've already seen it. Should we talk about Threads? Because I feel like that's a big
The hot
news
new thing what the kids are doing.
I know.
It's what the
R.I.P.
kids
Twitter.
are doing these days.
So
Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter in so long. I used to love Twitter, and then I feel like once Instagram came out and just fell off of Twitter. I think I still have my account, I'm pretty sure. I want to see my tweets.
well, I was just gonna say I hope mine is gone, because I'm 99% sure one time, I don't even know if I should say this, I subtweeted my old boss and told him to go play in traffic because he said something really mean. Well, and he was like sleeping with a bunch of the wait staff, so I was like, fuck you anyway. It got like a lot of traction amongst my friends, so I'm praying that my old tweets aren't there, but that was like the meanest I ever
funny,
was.
but a lot of them were definitely all targeted towards Justin Bieber, so
You could have been Taylor Lautner's. Have you seen that? Where Taylor Lautner's wife like
yes.
masterminded
Was it
her
the
way
concert?
to marrying him? Yeah. Hailey Bieber. You could have
Well,
been
so did
Hailey
Hailey Bieber.
I know. You shouldn't have given up. I've masterminded my way into a few situations, but definitely not marriage. Maybe I'm just not good at it,
I
though.
wish. Yeah, we're just not good. Here we are.
Now we just have to have this podcast,
No wonder we don't have
I
a
guess.
ring.
Yeah. Literally. No wonder we're crying
fucking
over Logan
stalkers.
Paul's engagement video. Because we don't know what it feels like. Okay, we're spiraling. So, Threads.
Yeah.
The Instagram kind of like surprise launched that. Like, I didn't know anything about that before the literal day it started being talked about, and I don't think they did either. So I'm sure everybody by now knows, but Threads is basically another app that Instagram has come out with that is pretty much like early stages Twitter. Like, it's just basically Twitter, but it's called Threads. I personally love it on there. Like, I'm
Same.
absolutely loving Threads. There's a very chaotic energy on there right now because everybody's just kind of like, what do we do with this? Yeah. I hope it stays that way, though. Like, now when I scroll Instagram, I'm like, if I see another fucking 3 things carousel, I'm gonna lose my mind.
It's totally inevitable that it becomes that at some point, I feel like, because it's going to start being filled with people that are greedy and want to make money and want to just leverage another platform for their business. And we already see people doing it. 2 days in, people were doing it, and they're like, hey, just checking in. But anyway, go look at my Instagram posts because I just launched an exciting new course, an exciting program, and like, you don't want to miss it. I already see people doing that shit, and it's so disappointing. I just unfollow them.
When you downloaded it, did you do the thing where it automatically followed everybody?
I think it did that for me.
I did that, and then I went through and unfollowed a bunch of people because I was like,
Yeah. I removed some people that like followed me that I'm
Me
like,
too.
no, you're not allowed on here. This is my safe space.
yeah, this is my literal safe space from the internet. Please let me live here forever.
It's so fun though. I am obsessed with it. I don't know why
Yeah.
people are shitting on it. It's like, I think you can approach it in 2 different ways of like, and most social media managers or creators or whoever do, because they're like, oh my God, just another platform for me to learn. And it's like, no one is forcing you. But like, yeah, okay, another platform for you to learn. But like, what if it could be a good thing? Why can't we just look at it in a positive way of like, another platform, let's see if this even will do anything for my business, or see if it's even worth it to learn it. Why do you have to go into it with such a
Right.
negative mindset? So many people are just like, I'm not doing it. I'm not learning another app. I'm not doing that. I'm already so busy. Blah, blah, blah. It's like
Bitch,
don't.
same.
My
But
God.
you don't have to. I got on it the day that I found out about it because I'm nosy. Not because I felt like I wanted, needed to. Like nobody was
Right.
putting pressure on me to do that.
Yeah, I wanted to see what the vibes were.
Right. And now I'm quite literally obsessed. And the last time I pushed back about learning a new platform, it was fucking TikTok.
Yeah, same.
And I won't make
I
that
was like,
mistake
oh my
again.
God, this won't stick around. Like, it's
Right,
just
who
kids
cares?
dancing. I'm like, this isn't relevant. Literally beat myself up all the time over it
Same.
because I wish we were on there early.
5 years ago.
But literally. So, yeah, I don't think I'll ever look at an app like that again. It was even like Clapper and Lemonade. Like, everyone was freaking out. And they're like, you have to be on it. You have to be on it. And look at that now.
Now, nobody's talked about them in months. When I first heard of Lemon 8, I downloaded it, got on it, because again, I'm just nosy, and I just want to see if
same.
it's something that I like. Same thing with Clapper. I really only did that when the whole TikTok ban, there's a lot happening with that.
Yeah, we need to check in on that and see what's happening.
I know I told you, we might have millions of followers on our accounts on there, because we've just never checked again.
No, I haven't checked it, so
Me
I could
either.
be popping off right now.
I know my videos could be viral
not.
on there, and I'd have no idea. Yeah, probably not realistically, but even just those two platforms, there was so much hype around them that I never even posted about them on my story. I think I texted you about them.
Yeah, we text each other. I just followed 5 people, I think, and was like, let me just repurpose my TikToks. Everyone was like, save all your videos, put them up there, and I did, but
Threads is my jam, and I'm so sick of seeing people say oh, it's glitchy, oh, it doesn't have this feature, it doesn't have that, blah blah blah. Bitch, this app is is 5 days old at this point.
Yeah.
And there's so
and they've
much
said
to
it. They're
come.
like, oh my God, so many people joined in the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
We are trying to keep up with the demand right now of what
it's
you're
at
looking
100
for, and they're
million
working
users.
on things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. And he even said they're going to make a feed, because right now the feed is random people. It's not just everyone you follow. So they said they're going to make it a following page and then kind of an explore page where it's everybody. But they're working on that. So it's yeah, relax. It's all going to happen. But I also hope that they don't do so many updates where it's okay, now it's way too much of sales and stories and all this shit. I don't even want pictures on there.
I would be totally fine if they never even added DMs. I would literally be okay if there were no DMs. I honestly, I like how it is right now. I don't like how people are complaining. I love how
so
it is
good
right
with
now.
it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Did you see Adam Sori posted a thread and it said, for those of you trying to think of what to post on Threads versus Instagram, here's my take. It's less about text versus photo video and more about what public conversations do you want to have? Do you want to engage in a back and forth? If yes, then Threads makes sense. If not, stick to Instagram. So he basically even said, it's not about the two platforms being one text-based, one photo video. The best way to use Threads right now is for whatever public conversations you want to have. Have any of your clients asked you about it at all?
No. So I think one of my clients joined because I see the little Threads thing on there on her account, but I haven't even looked if she has put anything on there, but no one's mentioned it. I just also think, because I saw somebody say this, they're like, are you going to start offering this to your clients now? Somebody asked, and I'm like, I don't think we should offer it for months just to see what this is. A long time to, first of all, just enjoy it and stop trying to strategize everything. But I also think if your clients are going to go on it, I think they should be the ones that are doing it, not you.
Exactly.
Because this is where your personality is going to come to play. This is where people want to engage with you, actually your thoughts, and not your social media manager. I just think it should be the client. So I don't think I'll even offer it. I'm going to be yeah, if you want to do it, I think you should do it because it's your personality, It's just
a notes app. It's somebody's public notes app. I'm not in my client's brain. You know what I mean? I know from their Instagram.
I'm going to post what you're thinking about. Yeah.
Right. I want you to get in there and post your hot takes. I don't even think it makes sense, at least the way that I see Threads being used. Obviously, we are 5 days in. Nobody really knows what's going to happen with it. Nobody knows what the best way to use it is.
Right.
I mean, for me, it's only ever going to make sense that it's, I don't want to say brands or businesses wouldn't make sense on there, but for my clients' businesses, I think it would be more effective if it were my clients in there making a name for themselves rather than their business. Again, that's just my take on it, because who knows?
That's what I think too.
And then he also said that they're not adding in ads until they reach 1 billion users and can fully accommodate that. So it's going to be a while before we see like ads built into the platform,
God.
which is, yeah, love that.
Oh my God. But you know what I do want to talk about? And this could be after we
ready.
finish this, is the terms and conditions. Oh.
Okay. I don't want to cut you off and I don't want to disagree with you because I do agree with what you're going to say and I'm going to let you talk about it.
I'm going to let you finish, but
I'm going to let you finish.
Beyonce had the best.
Beyonce had the best music video. But what bothers me is everybody's like, you're locked in. There's no way to delete your account. Like, okay, first of all,
yeah.
that was your fault for not reading. And I don't feel bad. Second of all,
No.
you can put your account on private and make it unsearchable. So, like, yes, it's still there and it's not deleted, but you can make it unfindable to other people. And I'm sure they're working on adding in the feature to delete just your Threads account. So I just feel
You
like
can
people
deactivate it, actually. So it's not deleted, but it's deactivated. So you can
Right.
delete all your threads and then deactivate it. So it's really not.
Right.
Like,
That's the only thing I'll say.
Just
Okay.
deactivate it.
Now talk about the terms and conditions because they are a little bit crazy. I just wanted to make it known I don't feel bad for people who are
Dude.
locked in because you could have read. Like you could have read. There's no going back once you
this is
sign
gonna
up
go.
for this.
This is gonna go into Black Mirror. the
Yes.
first
Oh my
episode,
God, it
too.
does. Perfect.
This is perfect.
A
Wasn't even
real life
planned. I literally just
example.
thought about it. Yes, because I just saw a video about this on TikTok about the terms and conditions, and this guy was doing like a skit, and he was like, "Okay, like what are the terms and conditions?" And they're like, "Oh, it's nothing crazy. They want to know your sexual orientation, your preferences, your religion, obviously your shopping habits. Everybody knows that, but then they also want to know sexual orientation, race, gender, political, and religious beliefs to influence a future election."
Rock on.
Makes sense. Job history and performance evaluation for when they start a LinkedIn competitor, most likely. IP address and pictures and recordings of our environment. And they're like, yeah, always helps us know exactly where you are. Personal health data. And he goes, are you familiar with Big Pharma? Browser history. What are you going to do? Blackmail me? And he goes, no, we're just going to sell it to the highest bidder.
Oh my God, this is
They go,
so
yeah, I
funny.
think I'm going to opt out of this. And they're like, yeah, unfortunately, if you want to use Threads, you got to say yes to all of it. So if I wanted to use the Threads app, I have to give you all my personal data. You're going to sell it to companies who will use that to specifically try and target and influence me. And they're like, yeah, that's right. They're like,
No big
okay,
deal.
where do I sign?
Yeah, literally. Where do I sign up?
Someone goes, laughs in European. Because the EU
'Cause
hasn't
it's not
approved it
available
yet. No. Honestly, this leads perfectly into the first episode of Black Mirror because that's exactly what happened to the character in the first
Yes.
episode. And it's crazy because it feels very, very real. And literally reading that and seeing that.
Just the timing of that is really funny. Obviously, just shows the importance of reading.
Yeah. That we don't do
I mean,
of any terms and conditions.
I would be lying if I sat here and said that I read the terms and conditions of everything, but also like I know that this isn't the point, so I don't even know if I should say this, but like I don't have anything to hide. And like I don't really have, not that I think what that they're doing is okay at all. What is the alternative?
Influence me.
Just
Target
Yeah.
me directly so I save me the time to fucking search for the shit I need.
don't have
Just
to look
tell
for
me what I need. It's just so funny that people feel that way though, and it's like you have an iPhone, you have Face ID, you have a fingerprint, like you're really gonna worry about this app taking all your shit when your iPhone and Apple and everybody else already has it and already sells it to Facebook even if you don't fucking
Right.
have Facebook.
And
Like,
that's why I was
wake
so
up.
upset about the whole TikTok thing because everybody's like, oh my God, information, data, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
have you looked at the apps that you already use?
They know who your great 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 grandparents are, please.
Literally. I mean, I told you about that weird like connection with your emails where like you'll get ads for things based off of like who you're next to and what they've purchased. And like even today when full backstory. I took my hair extensions out yesterday, so my hair is like just a
My
lot
little
thinner and shorter than
pony.
it usually is. Yeah. So I texted Veronica a picture of my hair and said my little pony, like talking about my ponytail. As soon as I opened TikTok, like an hour later, I got like 10 videos, like hairstyles for short hair, hairstyles for thin hair. Like it was so weird. And I usually don't get those.
Yeah. TikTok also, I think, in their terms and conditions, it says they have access to all of your apps, like all of your other apps and messages probably too, I'm guessing. Like,
Which, like, do I love that? No. But it's kind of just the
here
world
for
that
a
we
good
live
time,
in.
not a long time.
I'm literally here for a short amount of time and I want to have fun while I'm doing it.
Tell me about a hairstyle I could do with my new short hair.
With My Little Pony. And I didn't even realize I said it like that. You're like, My Little Pony. It was like, I didn't even realize I said it like that. I was just saying, like, look at my little ponytail. Like, it's so
That's the first thing that came to my
short
mind.
and stubby. That's so funny
her.
because we were playing. Okay. No. Wow. Okay. Netflix has this game on there called Triviaverse. And Ethan and I were playing it last night. And it's like literally a TV show.
Netflix has a game?
Yes. It's called
How do you play
Triviaverse
it?
with the remote. Like, it's just you either pick. Okay, so it's a trivia and like it says a question and then it gives you like either 2 or 4 answers to choose from, and you just use the arrows. Like, we were watching it on his PlayStation, so he was just using PlayStation controller, but like on a regular TV, it's literally just the up, down, right, left arrows and you choose the answer.
Yeah.
But one of them was, what was the name of the little marks on the back of My Little Ponies? And I was like, I don't really know, but they're called cutie marks. It's not fun fact.
Cute.
I was like, My Little Ponies come
Wait,
up twice in my
I want to
life.
play that.
It was so fun. And there's like 2-player mode. So like we were playing against each other at first, but then we were like, just put it on 1 player because it goes for longer. So we were like, we'll just play it together because I like to just yell out answers and Ethan's actually smart. So he knows answers. So like together we
Always
did
know a
really
single
well.
thing, so
Yeah, it's called Triviaverse. It was a lot of fun. Highly recommend.
love.
But I didn't even think about it being on Netflix. So yeah, the first episode of Black Mirror, Joan is awful. If you haven't seen it, it's about a girl who doesn't read the terms and conditions of, they call it Streamberry in the show, but it's Netflix.
Netflix.
And basically they make a show about her life because they're always listening to her through her phone or watching her through like her computer. Like, there were a lot of really cool people in it. Like Michael Cera popped up for a second. I was like, this
Yeah.
is fun. I love
Salma
him.
Hayek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good. And what's her name? And the actress that is playing her, it's what's her last name? Anne from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not good at real actors' names.
I know, me either. I'm like, I know
And I've also
just
never seen
their
Schitt's
actor
Creek.
names.
I know.
You
it's
would
so bad.
love it. Oh my god!
Isn't there an Alexis in that show? Everybody always told me, they're like, you
That's
need to
her.
watch it.
Annie
Yeah.
Murphy. That's her
Okay.
name. Yeah, so Annie Murphy is in it.
That's Joan in the show.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, that's
I have no
love her.
clue who anyone is ever.
Which is crazy because there was like a what's the word I'm looking for, where it's like in, because they were showing her as the Schitt's Creek actress on the red carpet as Annie Murphy.
It was like Inception
like-
almost.
Yes, it was Inception. That's the word I'm looking for. When she's like looking at herself, and then she's also Annie Murphy. Like I don't even know how to describe this episode of like the ending because
Oh yeah, there is no
it was
describing
just
it.
such Inception. But yeah, she didn't look over the contract and she didn't pay attention before signing away her rights. So literally a TV show came out about Joan is awful, and it was showing her entire day basically, where she like fired somebody, then went to therapy and talked about her relationship and how she didn't want to like be with him anymore, and then went and kissed her ex, and her boyfriend or fiance or whoever was watching that, and he was like, what the fuck?
Right?
And it was just like a whole Inception. Like, it just kept happening over and over, and like she kept watching her life every day, and it was just crazy.
There was one part when she goes to the hotel to see her ex. They're like laying in bed, I think, and the ex says, I didn't sign up to be a supporting character or something like that. Before this happens, he's like, I want you back. I love you, blah, blah, blah. Then this
Yeah.
happens and he's like, I didn't sign up for that. And I think about that all the time. Like the people who go from being like just not in the spotlight at all, or maybe a little too quote unquote overnight, like nothing actually happens overnight, but very quickly go to being household names. Like I always wonder about the significant others who like didn't sign up for that at all, or even the people that didn't sign up for that willingly. You know what I mean? Like Joan obviously kind of signed up for it, but like the significant others, the families, I think about that all the time. Like it has to be so weird for like Alex Cooper. It's got to be so weird for her parents to like think that every woman aged 20 to 50 knows their
Yeah.
daughter's name. That's got to be so trippy.
I
I
know.
mean, that's
Well,
going to
you
be
know
us
what's
one day,
funny?
but like,
I know. Well, you know what's funny is well, in this episode, they did sign up for it because they all agreed to Streamberry's conditions too, or otherwise they wouldn't be
right.
able to be in the episode. So all that's why everyone's allowed in the episode, like her
Mm-hmm.
coworkers and her fiance, because they all agreed to the terms and conditions to exploit their life. That's why that lady was like, "Oh yeah, we have like hundreds and thousands and gonna be millions of blank is awful of
Mm-hmm.
everybody's life, and everyone can just watch it because everyone agreed to it. We all agreed to Netflix."
Right. It would have been kind of cool if they did like a little campaign or something where they made like a thumbnail, like on the newly released shows or whatever, that was like your name on Netflix, like whatever name is on your
Oh my
Netflix
god,
account. You
yeah.
know what I mean? But I have to well, I guess it is. I was going to say it's Black Mirror, not Netflix, but I guess kind of the same thing 'cause doesn't Netflix
Yeah.
own or create it?
That was funny of them to come at Netflix like that though.
99% sure it was Lock Henry, the second episode, that they also reference it because they're talking about
Hmm.
where their film is going. So yeah, I mean, we could just kind of go into the second episode now because the first
Yeah.
one, that was the episode I like watched the first one. I was like, okay, we have to talk about this because of how
Yes.
crazy like this whole concept is. But then I just
Hmm.
didn't feel right not talking about the rest. I didn't want them to be left out.
Yeah.
So, second episode is about a guy and a girl who are a couple and they go to his hometown and they're on their way to film a documentary in another town, but they stop in his hometown to like see his mom, and the girlfriend wants to like see where he grew up and stuff. And while they're there, somehow this was just never discussed before in their relationship that his dad was like murdered. It comes up in conversation while they're there, and they start talking about like this legend of the town and blah blah blah. And basically the girlfriend pressures him into changing the direction of the film that they were about to make from being this guy who does something with eggs. He was like a rare egg collector or something.
Yeah. I
She
don't even
like
know.
basically forces him to tell the story of his dad, like being murdered or killed, whatever they were trying to make it seem
Hmm.
like it was. So I think kind of like the overall theme of that was just like exploiting your stories and exploiting yourself. And I loved this episode because there's a
I did
twist in it
too.
that was absolutely insane. Okay, so this is what I thought was happening. So the guy has to stay in the hospital. The girlfriend goes back to the house with the mom. I thought the mom was about to poison her, like with the food that she was
Me
making.
too.
I thought for
Yeah.
sure that's where it was going.
Me too.
And then all of a sudden, you see the girl's computer screen and she realizes, like, oh, fuck, the mom was involved. So she dips and is like, I'm out. And then did they
Hmm.
confirm, like, she died, right?
Yeah, she like hit her head going across that stream, which was so stupid. Like I really wanted her to get away. Like that was just a
I
dumb
know.
fucking way to die.
The girlfriend lost me when, like, I stopped liking her when she forced him to do the film about
Hmm.
his dad. And from what I took away from it, and I know we kind of like looked up like what were the actual like hidden meanings in these shows.
Yeah.
It just kind of like selling your story and like how people get so fixated on true crime and how I mean we are literally exhibits A and B, but
Yeah.
like when you just get so lost in, like so caught up in it. But she
Hmm.
kind of not that I wanted her to die, but she kind of lost me when she got like a little pushy about it.
Yeah. I didn't like that either. I was like, ugh. But then they never would have found out, I guess, about the mom, and he never would have found out
Hmm.
the real story and gotten the award for the because he got like this huge award, right? Was it Oscar or is that the right thing? Emmy, Oscar,
It was
Oscar,
something he did
something like
well
that.
with it.
Yeah, yeah. And he like still wasn't happy, which was really sad.
Again, like where I feel like it comes back, like people, other
Hmm.
people exploiting these true crime stories, and these actual people are suffering from it, or, you know, like even
Hmm.
the Idaho 4 murders, the like college kids recently, like people were putting out so many videos about it had to have been this person and this person and that person and blah blah blah, and it's just not
Hmm.
true, and it's like so bad for those people like to have
Yeah.
to open the internet and, like see all of these people theorizing about like did you kill your best friend, like that's so fucked up. So she kind of lost me
And
when she forced him into doing it, but I still don't think
it
she
brings me
deserves to
to like
die.
the Jeffrey Dahmer thing too with Evan Peters. It's like
Hmm.
those people who lost their loved ones have to go through this again, and it's like a big topic of discussion and like a huge actor, so obviously everyone's going to watch Evan Peters in
Hmm.
this role, and it's just like sad because they're profiting off of such an awful situation, and like the victims' parents, and
Hmm.
maybe, I don't know if like all of them are alive still, but like there are still people that are alive related to those people, and they have to see this again and like be talked about, and it's just like an
Hmm.
opening a wound and just to make money, and like Evan Peters is traumatized from this role too, so
Hmm.
another example like of an actor just, yeah, he's doing all these amazing things, and the fact that he could get into this character like he did is insane and
Yeah, it's like kind of
shouldn't
creepy how
be
good he did.
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like Zac Efron doing Ted Bundy,
Hmm.
or Tom Holland doing that new role where he plays like six different people. It's like Split, I think, and it literally fucks them up forever. I feel
Hmm.
like doing that.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
normal.
Evan Peters said that like even the seasons of American Horror Story that he did for so long, like that left an impression. And he said like getting into the
Mm-hmm.
role of Jeffrey Dahmer, he would just like watch
Yeah.
videos of him and try to sound like him and act like him. And like I think people think acting is as simple as like picking up a script and like reading it word for word, but the
Yeah.
way that he dedicated himself to becoming Jeffrey Dahmer
Mm-hmm.
before that role, like genuinely takes a toll on
It's like method acting. Like
your
Sarah
mental health.
Paulson came out and said that too about
Hmm.
Black Mirror. She was like, I was literally method acting. Like I was convinced that I was getting assaulted in multiple episodes, or like
Hmm.
it was real to me. Like it
Right.
was not fake. It was not acting, which is so scary. Like method acting is insane.
Right. And don't get me wrong, like I 100% agree like that story was kind of exploited, like the families had to relive it, but I also feel like there might have been a lot of people who didn't know like what his motive was. Like they just thought like, oh, he's a serial killer out killing random people. Like no, he targeted
Mm-hmm.
gay men, like he targeted a very specific group. He targeted black people, he targeted minority people. Like
Yeah.
knew what he was doing. He wasn't just like going for a walk and like picking a random person. So I'm glad that it kind of like opened the story a little bit more for people to know that like this was a huge target against like a very specific community, not just like random
Mm-hmm.
people down the street. So I mean, the way that I see it is like justice for that family. Like, yes, their stories are being told, but I do also completely understand that it was just straight
Yeah.
up exploitation of that story.
Yeah. And it's like, at least the right thing to do would have been like give all those families the money then
Oh,
if you're
for
gonna
sure.
exploit their stories, you know? But
And that's always been kind of weird to me too. Like, how do you like I joked a couple weeks ago about wanting to make a documentary about my hometown and like how fucking weird it is. Like, where
yeah.
do you start with something like that? Like, obviously, I don't own the rights
Mm-hmm.
to these stories of these crazy things that have happened there, but like, if I really did want to do something like that, like,
Yeah.
where are the rights? You know what I mean? So I just like think about that too.
Right.
I'm like, there's got to be like a lot of hoops to go through for that, but I agree. I think the families should have
Mm-hmm.
benefited monetarily from that for sure.
For real. Anyway, we strayed.
But not
Strayed
really.
from, yeah, staying in the same vicinity.
Do you think people are entertained right now or bored? Or
I don't
questioning
know.
what they're listening to?
Yeah, let us know, guys, your thoughts, what you think about this, because that was a lot. Yeah, okay, so the third one was Beyond the Sea. This one was one of my favorites. I
Hmm.
liked it. It's basically about these two guys, and they have like robotic replicas on Earth, and they also have like their robotic replicas in space because they're on some like mission to save humankind or something, and it's
Hmm.
like a 10-year long mission or something like that, and they just basically have these necklaces that go back down to Earth and go back up to space where they're doing their mission. And this one was crazy because one of the guys, there's like this cult or something that is very angry about the fact that they have these replicas, and they break into that like rich guy's home, one of the guys who's like very wealthy, and he's like a painter and he listens to French music, and they break in, they kill his wife and family, and then they kill his replica on Earth, so he's literally stuck up in space. And then
Which that kind of confused me because why weren't the real people on Earth and the replicas in space? Like, couldn't they have just revert? See, I feel like there were a lot of like loopholes in this one that like you had to just look past because why weren't the real people on Earth and the replicas in space? Why were the real people in space and the replicas on Earth? I'm sure there were reasons that maybe I just missed, but I thought that was weird. I'm like, why didn't they just
really
switch that? The ending like completely threw me off. Like I didn't know where it was going. I knew it was going somewhere.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he was going to take over his body and like run away. I did not expect.
I thought so too.
Yeah, I did not expect him to retaliate and be like, "Oh, my family died, so your family has to as well." But then you also looked up. There's like a whole other like sub level of what this episode was about, which I didn't really pick up on that at all. I just was excited to see Jesse Pinkman on my screen, so I didn't care what was happening.
Yeah, it's what was it? Yeah, because one of them is like this hero version of like he's the American astronaut on a space mission. He loves sketching his kids, listens to French music, and Cliff, the other guy, is like a throwback to the older style of masculinity, who chops wood, spearfishes, makes his young son call him sir, and like moves them out of the city, and basically speaks for his wife, like makes all the decisions. She is clearly very lonely, distant, and then she suggests that the other guy, who his like replica or his whatever his Earth side,
I know. I'm like, what are these things?
whatever, his Earth side body gets killed, and so she suggests that like maybe you let him use your chip or whatever the hell it is, your replica, to come down to Earth, and maybe he can paint our house and like come down here once a week to just like get his footing back because he was so depressed. His whole family just got murdered. So then he like starts hitting on the wife, and it's just a whole thing. And so the guy finds out, the husband, and confronts him, and then he realizes that it was too late because he murdered his wife and kids as payback. And it basically just said the subliminal message of like, destroyed like an object, not killed like a person. Cliff doesn't know what he has, so David takes it away from him. Fair is fair, basically treating like women and children as objects and not
like
as
I lost
real
mine,
human
so
beings.
you're
Like
gonna lose yours.
Cliff, throughout the whole thing, he's like, that's my wife, she's mine, like just like property basically. I think that was the whole subliminal message behind it. But yeah, I was not expecting that either. I thought he was just going to run away with the thing, but because then I thought about it, and I'm like, if he killed himself up in space, then his replica down on Earth, would it, since it's not actually him,
I know what would happen.
right? Like
don't
what would
know.
happen? I don't know.
That's why I
That
was
was
like, there's a
really
lot of
confusing.
parts of this episode that you,
Yeah.
like, you had to just throw reality, obviously, with all Black Mirror episodes.
Yeah.
But, like, you literally just had
Yeah.
to throw reality, like, out the window. Speaking of, like, controlling and objects, did you see all the Jonah Hill stuff with
Yes.
the girlfriend? How he's, like...
That was bad.
It
That was ex-girlfriend too. He's having a baby with a new girlfriend who
Oh
he's
my
been
God, I
together
did
with
not
for
know
like
that.
a year. Oh yeah, he's having a baby with his new girlfriend. This was his ex-girlfriend that came out with all this stuff. Sarah, I think her
Wait,
name
so
is.
not that I don't think she should have done it now, but why did she choose to do it now?
I don't know why she did. She just took to Instagram stories on Friday. She just said she did not hold back, accusing him of being narcissistic, misogynistic. 25-year-old?
Yeah, yeah. That's why in the one text from him, he says you can't play the 25 card. And people were like, well, what the fuck's the 25 card? And people were like, no, it's because she's 25.
She put a picture up and said, reviving a pic I took down by request of a narcissist misogynist.
Oh, so
So
she
maybe
came
that's
in
what's
hot.
I don't know.
I mean, love that for her.
But this was in 2021. So this is
Very
just a warning to
interesting.
all girls, if your partner's talking to you like this, make an exit plan. Yeah, I don't know. I think she was just feeling spicy.
Same stuff kind of happened with Kiki Palmer, where she was like,
Oh, I didn't see that. What happened to her?
so she was like all over Usher, quote unquote. Not really. Like from the video that I saw, they were just like, I think it was a show that Usher was doing and like he pulled her up or whatever. Like it was not like they were seen making out in a club. But her baby daddy like texted her all this stuff and was like, if you need to be out like half naked and blah blah blah, like all this stuff basically. But the funniest TikTok that I saw about it was like, it sounds like you all want a baddie until you have a baddie and your baddie start doing baddie things. like, like y'all want
No,
that until it starts happening.
Literally. It cracks me up when I see things like
Men
that
do
because I'm
anything.
like, yeah, I'm just like, you're so fucking insecure. If you're
Mm-hmm.
insecure, just say that. Like,
Right.
what?
It's so wild. And it's so crazy too because so one of my friends posted something about it and like then shared like her own kind of story about like what she had been through, and I was like, you're right. Like 10 years ago if I had seen those messages, I would have been like, yeah, like that's how a boyfriend is supposed to act. Like that's how they're supposed to
Yeah.
feel like if you're doing something that disrespects them. But her surfing videos when she's legitimately a professional surfer, like so weird.
What
Like
do you want her to
absolute-
wear? A hazmat suit?
like a full wetsuit. like
Like, I literally don't care. And it's so funny when I see things like that. I'm like, I never think that about a girl. If she posts her freaking ass, I don't care. I'm just like, she's
I'm
proud
like,
of her
go
body.
girl.
Good for her. Comfortable in their relationship and secure to the point where it's like, yeah, proud of her for looking like that. Like,
right.
she's all yours. Why does it?
Yeah.
Right. Like, why does it fucking matter? Let her do what I don't know. I just don't get that. Or like what she can wear. It's like, no one can look at you. Like, I'm going to keep you sheltered. I just loved Shay Mitchell on Call Her Daddy.
Yes.
Because she was so good. Where everyone needs to listen to her because I just love her
I
fresh
love her.
perspective about literally everything. She's amazing. Where she's like, he can go out and do what he wants. And like, if something happens, then it comes to the point and like, we'll confront that. Then we'll confront it. She goes, but for now, I'm chilling. I'm fine. I'm vibing. She's like, he can do what he wants. He can stay out. Just text me when you're home. Like, she is so, if something happens, we deal with it. But I don't care what you do. I don't care who you're with.
Yep.
It's all up to you at the end of the day.
Like it's
You
just
know?
crazy. Even like the trip that we went on, like to Nashville, like I feel like there's so many people that would not have been like okay with that happening. And like again, like 10 years ago, somebody telling me like you can't do that would have been totally normal to me. Like because I just would have been like, sure, like you're right, I shouldn't. But now looking back as an adult, I'm like, oh, like that's low-key abusive. So
Yeah.
glad we've gotten over that.
Thank God.
Okay, so the next episode, we'll move on from that, is
Yep.
called Maisie Day. This was my least favorite episode of this season.
Yeah, it was a waste.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't bad and like
Waste, but just like,
it kind of was though. Like I just feel like there was a lot more they could have done with it. But yeah, I mean like basically it's about this woman who is a celebrity. She's out driving really late one night, hits something in the road, and the show wants you to think that she hit a person, and then she drives away from said person on the ground, and she can't live with the fact that she did that. Like it's eating her up. Like she is forced to go to a rehab, and like this is what the show wants you to think. And the whole like point of it, the whole premise was like how paparazzi are super intrusive on celebrities because she gets sent away to this rehab. The paparazzis break in, they get into the room, they see these like animals. And as soon as I saw the animals, I knew what was happening. I was like, this bitch is a werewolf. Like they are putting her in here because she's about to turn into a werewolf and this is what they're feeding her. Like I knew it right away. And I hate when I do that because then I just don't care about the
know.
rest. I'm like, but I liked it up until that. Oh, so that's kind of,
Yeah.
it goes back and shows you it was actually a werewolf that she hit, not a person. The werewolf bit her. I liked the premise and like the subtle message behind it where it's like paparazzi and like people are just way too fucking intrusive on celebrities. And it was very Britney Spears-esque. Like I think it was supposed to kind of be about that.
yeah, like the 2000s paparazzi,
Yeah.
how they were just so intrusive.
Which, like, I always say, like, that was
Even now.
such. Oh, yeah, 100% now. But I always think about the 2000s and, like, the start of social media was such a wild time to be a public figure. Like, because you experienced something that nobody else will ever experience because
Yeah.
you were the only group of people who became accessible to people. Like, from now on, like, it's just kind of like the standard that celebrities are on social media.
Yeah.
which is why it's like a big deal when a celebrity who doesn't have social media finally joins. Like Jennifer Aniston didn't have Instagram forever, and when she joined, people went fucking nuts. Like there's just such a weird dynamic for people who grew up on social media who were celebrities on there. But yeah, this whole episode was just about like how invasive it is.
They'll do anything for money.
Yeah.
Because it was like 30 grand if they got a picture of her. And it even showed like they'll go to any extent where like the one of them was about to get bit by her.
Mm-hmm.
She was like turning into this werewolf, and he's like, just one more shot, just one more shot. Like they were just, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Anything for the shot.
Anything for the shot. And like I get, like again, I liked the subtle message behind it, but it just wasn't my favorite. But the next episode, Demon 79, was one of my favorites. I loved this one so much, even though
Yeah, this was a good one.
I think we both kind of like questioned for a minute, like, what is this exactly
Yeah.
trying to say? Like, this was one of the only ones that I was able to watch and like not think too far about what the subliminal messages in it were. Like, overall, it was just really good. Like, the two main characters were really fun. Like, they were both really likable.
I'll say about this girl, who's like a sales assistant, is just like going about her day to day. She's not really treated great because she is an Indian woman living in a predominantly white like neighborhood, and she's just treated like fucking shit, and it sucks. And she's just takes it, and she has all these like intrusive thoughts all the time about like killing people, I would say. Like not killing them, but like hurting them because they're so
They're
awful
just so
to her.
mean
Like
to
the
her,
girl
yeah.
that she so mean to her, the girl that she works with, she like wants to smash her head and
Okay, that part, like, actually was like, what the fuck? And then we just went
I
and
was
saw
like,
the
whoa.
we just went and saw the new Insidious movie yesterday, and there's another part where that happens, and I was like, oh my god, like I need to stop seeing people bang their head off of shit. Like, it's stressing me out.
So she is told that she needs to go in the basement to eat her lunch because they don't like how it smells. The coworker complained. So she
Because it's
literally
Indian
goes into
food.
this. Yeah, because she goes in the fucking basement. It's dark and creepy, and she finds this like little talisman down there, but she cut her finger and bled on it. And so she takes it with her, and she gets home, and all of a sudden, like, it starts speaking to her and is like, let me out, let me out. And she lets it out, and it's this, like, demon who's terrifying. And so she loved this show, and he transformed into, like, her favorite singer that she has a crush on to be, like, more appealing to her. And basically told her she needs to carry out 3 murders to save the world. Otherwise, everyone will die and this entire world will go into flames, basically. And he like shows her the future and just shows her everything that'll happen, and then tells her about like these people that she has to kill, or like just her options when they're like out at the bar, and it's like he did this, or like he molests his daughter.
Yeah,
And so
because the
she
demon can like
justifies
see
it.
people's pasts and futures. So like he's able
Yeah.
to be like, well, you might as well do this person because they're going to end up molesting their daughter next year or something. Or like, if you let this guy live, he's going to continue to do this, and it's going to make the daughter like, you know, kill herself like in the future. Like it was really creepy.
And at one point I thought he was making it up just to
Me
get her
too.
to
I
kill
thought
people.
for sure it was going to be made up. Like I did not believe
Yeah.
him at all. And then when they were in
No.
the house and she was in the middle of killing the one guy and the brother comes home and she accidentally kills him, that was when I was like, oh shit, like he does actually like know who's good and who's not.
Yeah, that's when
So that was wild.
Same. That was wild. But yeah, in the end, she like is about to kill the last person who's trying to become the mayor or the president or something.
Wasn't it that the politician guy was going to implement like immigrants had to leave, like foreigners weren't welcome here? Like he was just very
Segregation
racist.
again.
Yeah, like he was about to make it like a whole different world.
Yes.
And why didn't he want her doing it to him? I don't remember. Do you?
I don't. He just kept saying they're not gonna like that. They're not gonna like that. Like
Right.
that Satan's not gonna like that. That if you do it, or they're not gonna approve of it. But I don't really know why. Like
Yeah, I
maybe because
don't
he's such a
remember.
high up person, it would just be hard to get away with it.
Because he said that certain people didn't count. So like she had to do 3 people in 3 days. And because of the one guy or like being a good person or something, like made it not count, something like that. So maybe it was something just he wasn't going to count. Well, because then at the end,
He said someone who's killed somebody doesn't count.
right. Yeah, which is why that one guy didn't count. So maybe like because of this guy being in politics, it was implying that like he had done some bad things.
Arrested and was telling them the story, and they were like, "You're freaking crazy," and she was like, "The world is literally gonna end." And
Well, because
behold,
remember when she's sitting there in the police station and she's like, "This is the thing," and they look at it and it's just a regular domino.
yeah,
So like that to me was like she saw this as something else and made up this entire story.
yeah.
Like there
I thought
was
she was for sure like crazy. I was like, "There's no way." Imagine like she just had a psychotic break,
that's what I thought for
and then when
sure.
it hit 12 o'clock, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, like 2 minutes later, it
The
was
world starts
over.
to end and they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit." And the demon brings her back with him to like instead of leaving her on
abyss.
Earth to die with everybody. Yeah. Well, and it's funny because he's like, what the Earth is about to experience is what I experience all the time. Like this is just my normal life. Like I live in a state of like apocalyptic like energy. And she
Well, he said
ends
they
up
were gonna go to like basically space and just be floating forever and just like eternity, and there's
Yeah.
nothing like there. It's just black.
and she ended up going with him. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was like a shit ton of like subliminal.
We couldn't find like any, I don't know, like any big ones. I mean, definitely the act of like racism and
Oh, for sure.
segregation, like that for sure is showcasing that it's still even in 1979, but that's like prevalent in today's world still.
Definitely.
Sadly. But like that message for sure. Maybe even one where it's like you kind of have to believe things that seem out of the ordinary or that are not real per se, or like a conspiracy theory esque. That's what I got from it. I'm like, oh, nobody
Yeah.
believed her and thought she was crazy, but like all along she was the one that was.
Which is like when I tell you I
but-
wait for that day. Like I cannot wait until one of these crazy ass conspiracy theories that I believe comes true and everybody can be like, "Oh my god, she wasn't crazy." Like I'm waiting for
Okay,
that
I mean,
day.
how about aliens? They literally came out and
I
said that
know.
they were real, and everyone just ignored that. Like that was
Why do people not care about that?
like literally. I was shocked that they even did that. Which like also, why did they do that? Why were they coming out and telling us that
Right.
it's facts?
Strange. Very strange.
Usually they deny everything. So I'm
But no, they're like, here's our documents, like showing that they're real and we know of X amount of different species and we've
and no one fucking talks about it.
it's so
We want
weird.
to talk about the submarine, not the actual aliens that were confirmed. But okay,
Which was like the same week that happened, like that like press conference with NASA and everything happened that same week as the submarine. So like
yeah.
we'll save our deep dive conspiracy theories for our October episodes.
I know,
when we're
I
gonna
think
do,
every
like,
episode
spooky
has had-
season. I know. I'm like, people are gonna think
I
that
think
we
every
just
episode
are
has.
crazy.
Yeah.
We live in a simulation.
God.
Nobody's real.
That motherfucker right there. It's not real.
Yeah. I mean, that whole situation gives me anxiety. Because,
me
okay,
too.
here's the thing. I don't care if that bitch is drunk. I don't care if she's high. I don't care if she's on something. If somebody on my plane stands up and says, "You're all going to die if you stay here," like, I'm going regardless. I don't care if she's crazy. I'm leaving. I'm not staying there.
Did we
'cause
check
that's
if that
just-
plane is like fine? Was it fine?
Okay, so I keep like trying to find things about it and it's just so hard because it's like there was a guy who made this whole video about like, oh, I was there, the guy sitting there like blinked vertically, definitely like a reptile person. And in his whole story, like he's telling it with like emotion. It's so believable. Like obviously sounds fucking crazy, but like so believable. And if you read the caption, it literally says, "I made this whole thing up to see how fast this information would spread." And now that's like the number one theory about everything. So like obviously everything that we see with like these conspiracy theories and shit, we take with a grain of salt because there are people like this who are like, let's just see how fast we can get this story out. But like again, regardless of whatever that bitch saw, like I'm going with you because I'm not sitting on a plane
Yeah.
after you told me I'm gonna die if I stay here. Like
And the fact that she didn't come out and like say anything. Oh, for people that don't know what this is about, it's like this
did we
woman who
even
just
say?
freaked out. No, this woman freaked out Anna made the plane stop and get off because she looked genuinely terrified, like so scared. And I don't think she was drunk. I don't think she was high. I think she truly saw something that scared the fuck out of her because she was terrified and basically just screaming, like, he's not real. He's not real back there. And I don't care. You can either believe me or not, but I'm getting off of this fucking plane right now. And she was like, so scared, screaming. She sounded like Mickey Mouse, honestly.
She did sound like Mickey Mouse for a second. But like the weird thing about it too is like she didn't even care about her stuff. Like she was like, I don't give a fuck about my bags. Like I need to just get off this plane.
Mm-hmm. Which I also saw, like, I don't know. It's so hard because I also saw another video that was like, she 1000% used to be a flight attendant or something because the way she was motioning the exits and just the way she was motioning things, they were like, this was an act. The person sitting there.
I saw that too.
Right? Like the person sitting there could have been paid to do that.
Yes.
No one filmed what was back there. So like what? I don't know. It's just crazy that you wouldn't think to just film back there of what she's talking about. It's just of her. Like, I don't know.
What cracks me up about that is like in the video when she's like, that motherfucker back there is not real. And the camera spins, the whole plane goes and turns around like at the same time. And it's so fucking funny to me just like seeing everybody like, wow, this bitch is crazy. I don't believe her at all. But like, I'm still going to look like just in case.
Yeah. I'm going to check though.
I'm going to check though. I'm going to snap my neck to see what she's talking about back there. But I don't believe her. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that whole thing, I don't know what I think. I don't know what I thought. I don't know what is and what isn't. But I do think it's very strange that she hasn't said anything, and that's why like it's just so hard to believe anything you see about it, because I also saw a video from somebody saying that that was their cousin and she's like just taking it low right now. She's still really shook up. She promises that she'll talk about it, blah blah blah, but she's not ready right now. Like I could go on TikTok and say that right now, you know what I mean? Right. So it's just like so hard.
You could be anyone's cousin or family member.
Like it's just so hard to believe. But I mean, the veil's getting thin. People are noticing more and more.
Yes.
You never know what she saw. So what do you think she saw? Let's leave it with that and have our fellow conspiracy theorists DM us and tell us what you think happened on the plane. Literally, it was one of my first threads. I was like, so what do y'all think she saw on that plane?
Yeah. Literally. I want to know.
I do too.
I mean, a lot of people are saying reptile person, and I don't know.
I saw a whole thing about how the guy was potentially like telepathically communicating to her, and like that made her like freak out because the guy just sat there like so calm the whole time. But then there's also like the question, was she even talking about the guy next to her? Was she talking about a flight attendant? Like who was she even talking about? So I just want to hear from her like so bad. I would do anything to have a conversation with her. So make sure you're hanging out with us on Instagram at Socially Unfiltered Pod. Make sure you are leaving us a review if you like us. I was dying at that one episode where you're like, please like us. I was like,
please like us.
Pick me. Like I knew what you meant. It just was so funny.
Please make me your Monday podcast.
Please listen to us on Mondays.
I want you to start your week with me.
Please.
Come on.
We love
with
you.
us.
Come hang out with us.
Not just with me.
I mean,
yes.
With us and our 20 personalities.
I am split.
I know that movie was about me, actually. Oh my god, I loved that movie. It was so good.
Me too. He was insane.
Insane. Like so crazy.
Wow. There was a second one too.
There was a second one. I think there might have even been a third, and it ties it to, because okay. Do you know that Split was a second movie of a movie called Glass that came out in like the 90s?
Yes.
The last episode, or not the last episode, the last movie that came out of those like ties it all back to that first one. So that was really cool. But yeah, total side note, classic of us to go off topic.
Yeah, not so weird of us.
Never know that. Never done that before.
Okay, well, we love you guys, and we're so excited to finally be recording
in
this
time.
Somewhat live time, a week before
it
comes out, but we're really excited. So yeah, keep up with us on Instagram, TikTok, Socially Unfiltered Pod, and review us. We would really appreciate that because we would love to get into the ears of more people so they can hear how unhinged we are.
Put me in all the ears, baby. It's my favorite. orifice on a body.
Sign our terms and agreement.
Sign our terms and agreement. Don't ask what's in them. Terms and conditions may apply. We're stealing your data right now.
What type of dog you have? I need to know.
I know. The only data I'd be stealing from you is like what your Amazon purchases are and like what your dog pictures look like. Other than that, I have no interest in what anybody else is doing.
Your favorite snack combo.
What's your unpopular stock combo?
But yeah, share with us any crazy conspiracies you believe in or literally anything.
I know. Tell us anything. If you can't tell, we'll talk. Just talk to us. Please talk to me.
Please like me.
Please like us.
Okay, well, we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Hearts and shit. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.